It's the mastermind behind the mic. Give you what you like, never think about it twice. Coming with the real facts, and that's for real. Along with special guests, you know the deal. Label as the podcast, I stand on it. I'm all about my grind, cause my grind I be on it. That's what it's all about. When you're trying to be successful, you know what I'm saying? The solo show, yeah. All right, y'all. Back in the building. That's right. Episode 3 of the solo show. Yours truly, the mastermind behind the mic, the podcast Unc. Hope everybody's been having a great week thus far. We're back at it again. Yeah, another week of it. Of the solo show. I hope you guys checked the first 2 episodes out. Been getting some great feedback about them. Hey, go check them out on all platforms. So go check the episodes out. Coming up a little bit later in the show, got a special guest coming on. We're talking mental health today. So stay tuned for that. But we're going right into entertainment, as always. It's been a tripped out week. Last couple of days. You know, I'm into podcasting real heavy. And we've had an issue, man, with podcaster Joe Rogan. Yeah. Joe Rogan. I follow Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, for those of you that don't know who Joe Rogan is an American martial artist / sports commentator, comedian, which has kind of gotten him in a little bit of trouble now. And, of course, he's the podcaster. So I know Joe's got a lot of listeners, man, loyal listeners, subscribers, millions of people that follow him. I'm a follower, to be exact. I check him out. But here in the last week or so, he's had some issues on his podcast. And one of the issues is about misleading information on COVID-19 on one of his podcasts. And that's been a big thing that's been going on with him in the last couple of days. He's been actually been vocal about it. You know, he even took to Instagram last week to respond to the controversy and said that he was only interested in telling the truth and just having an interesting conversation. So, yeah, it was a big thing about it. Had some artists on Spotify because Joe Rogan's podcast is with Spotify. He's got that $100 million contract he's got with Spotify. And since that controversy took place, you had artists like Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, that asked to have their music and stuff taken off of Spotify. But not only that, he had some issues too with the N word. Yes, the use of the N word. This information popped out a day or so ago about him using the N word. And somebody put some clips together. I'm talking about a number of clips, and it was bad of him using the use of the N word. And he's taking a lot of flack from that now too. So he's got a lot of pressure on him right now. He even went to Instagram. I even watched it last night where he had was talking about addressing the situation with using the N word. And he said that was one of the most regrettable, shameful things that he's ever talked about. Yeah. Some people probably looking at Joe Rogan as, is he a racist? And he said that he's not a racist. But using the N word, especially coming from somebody who's white, doesn't look good. And that word has been thrown around a lot. You probably even heard me saying the N word on my shows. I'm quite sure you heard that. And it's kind of a slang within the black communities, black people. You know, it's a slang, and it can be a hell of a conversation to have about using that word because especially coming from certain people. And I want to control that myself by using that. We hear it in rap music and all. We hear it a lot. That word is used a lot, but coming from somebody who's white, that doesn't sound good. That's not good. So it's been a lot of controversy surfacing around with Joe Rogan. With not only that, had an issue with a comedy show I think he did some years back, where he was imitating a special needs kid. That just popped up recently here in the last several hours. I saw that. And there was people not happy about that. So Joe's got a lot of heat on him right now. You got music artists like N WORD.The that has asked Spotify to remove her music because of the stuff that Joe Rogan has said using in terms of using the N word. Yeah. So yeah, Joe Rogan's got a lot of heat on him right now, and I wanted to go back and read N WORD's statement from having her music pulled from Spotify. And she goes on to say, "I have decided to pull my music and podcast from Spotify. Neil Young opened a door that I must walk through. I believe in freedom of speech. However, I find Joe Rogan problematic for reasons other than his COVID interviews. For me, it's also his language around race. What am I talking about is respect. Who gets it? Who doesn't? Paying musicians a fraction of a penny and him $100 million. This shows the type of company they are and the company that they keep. I'm tired." So yeah, that was a statement from N WORD dealing with Joe Rogan, the information with Joe Rogan's using the N word. And there has been there's been a lot of stuff just constantly popping up about Joe Rogan, his frequent use of using that word. And even in a clip, they showed a clip where Joe compared black neighborhoods as to the Planet of the Apes. So yeah, this is out of control. What Spotify is going to do, we don't know. They taking off 113 shows, his episodes, off of Spotify. Now, is that dealing with him using those N-word tactics in those episodes, or was it dealing with the COVID thing? We don't know. I don't know. But 113 episodes have been removed so far. We don't know what Spotify is going to do. This man is on a $100 million contract, a lot of money. A lot of people out there voicing their opinions about the situation. I hate it went down like that. It's going down like that, but it's like everything is just taking a tumble now. And I follow Joe Rogan. Listen to his podcast. So, yeah, hope things get a lot better. It remains to be seen. All right, rapper Young Buck. Here we go. Buck, man, get it together, bro. Buck, man, was arrested this past Wednesday morning on a vandalism charge. He was booked into Davidson County Jail after an incident with an ex-girlfriend. So the thing was, Buck went to texted his ex-girlfriend, told her he was coming over. He gets there, and I guess once she didn't answer the door, he started kicking the door in, trying to kick the door in, and then he damaged both sides of her car that was parked in the driveway. Once he couldn't get in the house and she didn't answer the door, he decided to do some vandalism. So he ended up leaving. He was on surveillance, caught him on surveillance, and police was able to apprehend him, get him, and he was booked into the Davidson County Jail around 6:45 a.m. and was later he later posted bond around 10 a.m. Buck is a hell of a rapper. I like Buck's music. I follow Young Buck. I listen to his music all the time. I think he need to get it together. I think he might need to take the young from in front of the Buck because the young is that's what he's acting like. And this is not the first time Buck has been dealing with stuff like that. You know, he's in the past he's been caught up in the same situations. Back October in 2020, he was arrested on a domestic assault charge, and that was just days after a alleged shooting incident in Sumner County, Tennessee, with an ex-girlfriend where she shot at him. They had an incident that happened. Actually, I think that was on surveillance a little bit. I think it showed where he was there. I don't know if they actually showed the shooting part, but yeah, he went to jail. Well, she went to jail for that, and then you go back to December 2019. I can remember when he got locked up during the Christmas holiday, and he had an arrest warrant stemming from a child endangerment charge. Faces in Newton County, Georgia, excuse me, where he did jail time for that. He actually was in there for probably about 5 to 6 months because I think he didn't have a court date until May of 2020, I think. So he was in there for a good split. And then in 2016, he was sentenced to 7 months in federal prison after violating probation and a verbal assault involving his then girlfriend. So Buck having issues with women a lot. I know they've been on him in the past about the thing with the transgender and all that. That was real crazy there. So yeah, he still keeps fighting back though. He's still coming back, and with music, he's still having an issue with 50 Cent. He owing 50 Cent. His former label mate, money from some money that was owed to 50. He's still owing him. I think it was over $250,000. He's still owing 50 for that. So 50 goes to the airwaves and to the internet, and he's crushing Buck. But Buck actually put out a new single. Yeah. Just past Friday. It's nothing. He actually used his photo from when he was apprehended and locked up, his mugshot for his cover. So he came right back and fired right back at 50. So it's just an ongoing thing. Man, been having a lot of legal issues and all, and I hope Buck get it together because I like the man's music. Don't get me wrong. All this personal stuff that goes on as far as the issue with the transgender and all that, it was a big buzz. It was funny as hell. But that's his life. If that's what he's doing, hey, so be it. That's on him. Just stick to making the music, Buck. Keep coming with it. All right, we're going to jump to sports. And this past week, Tom Brady officially retired after 22 NFL seasons. He's a 7-time Super Bowl champion. I remember Tom Brady when he started winning Super Bowls. I actually never liked the New England Patriots, but you got to give Tom Brady his props, his credit, because the guy is the GOAT. And he's proven that. He's proven to go on and win Super Bowl without the premier coach, Bill Belichick. Yeah, he went on and won us another Super Bowl without him. So he proved that he is the GOAT. And congratulations to him. Did I say that? But yeah, I got to give the man his props. He did his thing. He set a lot of records. And winning 7 Super Bowls, oh, man, it's unheard of. All right, Aaron Rodgers, man, we don't know what the plans are no more than the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, as it still stands, is still They're trying to work a new deal to keep him there. Will that happen? We don't know. I know Aaron Rodgers said that he did not want to be a part of a rebuild. So we're going to see if that's going to take shape, see if he's going to still remain there, see if the money, man, shouldn't need him no money, but hey, if they're going to come with it big, hell, I'll stay there. Okay? And look, this thing with Brian Flores is out there. Former NFL coach Brian Flores from the Miami Dolphins, I filed a class action lawsuit against the NFL and 3 of his teams for allegedly racial discrimination. And the suit is ongoing right now. It's a lot of things that's been going on with that as far as with black coaches, because we don't have enough black coaches in the NFL. And we've seen it all. We see it all the time. And then, too, with the thing with this money thing, where it's saying that he's supposed to have been taking offered money to lose games, to throw games, so in order for the team to get the draft picks. So that's another thing. It's ongoing. Going to talk about that some more in the next couple of episodes, man, when we talk sports. But, yeah, it's out there. He's putting them out there. We're going to see if there's some real truth to it. And we'll see. All right, Major League Baseball lockout. Yeah, that's going on right now. Don't know if they're going to start up on time with spring training. Spring training is supposed to start February 16th. They're still in negotiations, trying to come to a resolution on the upcoming spring training for baseball that starts in Arizona and Florida. So, yeah, there you have it. Sports. All right, y'all. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with our featured topic, special guest. We're talking mental health today. We'll have that and much more right after the break, y'all. Stay tuned.
Check out our dad,
the mastermind behind the mic,
the podcast on each week for a new episode
of the solo show, available on Spreaker and all your favorite platforms.
It's so dope.
All right, y'all, we are back. More of the Jock Johnson podcast, the solo show. Got my special guest on the line, Miss Ladeidra Stokes from Ocala, Florida. How you doing, Ladeidra?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
I am fine. I'm glad to have you on the show. Man, tell us a little bit about yourself, because we're talking mental health today. And I know that there's a lot of things going on with mental health. People are suffering from mental illness. And we've had quite a few things that has happened here in the last couple weeks to a couple months with people dealing with mental health and mental illness issues. So, hey, what other way to have a good person like you to come on and, spit some of those jewels to listeners about the importance of mental health?
Okay. Well, my name is Ladeidra Stokes. I'm from Ocala, Florida. Originally born in Jersey City, New Jersey. I was raised in Essex, South Carolina, but I relocated to Ocala, Florida after graduated from South Carolina State University, my HBCU. So I came down to Ocala, started my career, went into Head Start and worked with a lot of kids with mental health, social services, and branch off into child welfare where I was an investigator for a little bit. Didn't think that would work out for me because I prefer helping people than removing kids. So I branched over and kind of went into mental health full speed, especially after, my sister had my nephew and he was diagnosed with autism. So that was new for us. And, he was diagnosed, I think, at the age of 3 or 4.
Wow.
So we kind of didn't know how to work with him. So I started digging a little deeper into that. And so that kind of motivated me to, branch into working with, going really hard as an advocate for mental health, along with my nephew that was killed. He was 5 years old. My nephew, Ty. So that kind of, made me look into social service and mental health even more. And then I had a cousin at the time, she passed away, but she was a director of social services. She kind of mentored me. She was a director for like a very long time. She kind of gave me, the ropes of how to, maneuver myself in the system so I can learn a lot. So I kind of went the mental health route, started advocating for a long period of time. So right now, fast forward today, I'm doing a lot of mental health advocacy on different radio stations and podcasts across the state. New Jersey, New York, DC, Georgia, Florida. I'm all over speaking about mental health and how it impacts people and how, it's been a taboo for years. And, just getting people out there to speak about their self and share their story and own their story. So I'm so happy to be a part of this podcast today. Mental health is my passion. I love it. I could talk about it for days. And I just want to thank you for having me here today.
Hey, I'm glad to have you on because, I thought about you recently here about a week ago about when I saw the death of Chesley Christ, the Miss USA. I thought about you and I was like, you know what? I would love to have her to come on to talk about the importance of mental health. We recently had death of Regina King, lost her son to a suicide.
Yes.
And we can't even imagine what she's going through dealing with that. And, people deal with issues. You can look at them and never think that they are, dealing with anything. And out of the blue, it hits. So, yeah, I definitely wanted to bring you on for this. And then too with COVID, I think the effects on people having dealing with COVID is taking a big role in people's lives too, dealing with COVID and the effects of it. So, what are some of the dealing with mental health and COVID? Can you give me a little a rundown with dealing with the COVID pandemic and then with mental health?
So, man, with COVID and mental health, it's been, pandemic started March 2020. So, at first we were all in the house and everybody was together. And then you notice a lot of things start changing with families. Honestly, when you go back and look like this, a lot of challenges that families faced throughout the pandemic. And also with positive things too. A lot of people got closer and things like that. Right. And then also with challenges, you got, a lot of kids, and I work in child welfare. We had a lot of kids that were removed from their parents. And our numbers are growing day by day. We even have like a loss of employees now. So we don't have people to go to court to advocate for kids. And you got, those type of things, divorce rates. A lot of that stuff happened during the pandemic. But on the flip side, on the positive side, you know, you got people like me. You know, me and my kids, we were close. We got closer. You know, me and my siblings got closer. We were already close, but we got closer during the pandemic. Just giving an example that, you know, we had to become creative on how to deal with this stuff. So this is new for everybody.
Right.
And we didn't really have, like, nobody knew the answer. Like, still to this day, we still dealing with it. We were thinking, okay, we're going to, you know, this is going to be a phase and then we going back. No, we're not going back to this is our new normal now.
Right.
So, you know, that's become a challenge for a lot of people. And, you know, you got people that's dealing with depression now because of it, anxiety. People lost their jobs. They lost their income.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people lost their houses. They didn't have anywhere to live. You know, a lot of people's health went down. A lot of people died from COVID. You got people in house, you know, multiple people that died from COVID. Or now you got a lot of them dying from pneumonia. So that's a lot of grief on a lot of families.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's affecting so many people's mental health. You got kids going into schools and they're afraid they're going to get COVID. So how can you focus on your work? And you know, like Florida, it's not mandatory to wear a mask.
Mm-hmm.
So you got kids. I ain't no kids that work now that has anxiety from the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So not only is it affecting adults, it's affecting kids. So, and then you got to watch out for people that have health issues.
Right.
You know, if COVID's gonna, you know, affect them so bad that they may not live. And I want to speak about someone that was prominent, like very personal to me and close to me, that helped me along the way with my business. He's from my hometown. His name is Colin Edie. He died from COVID, you know, and that was hard because he kind of guided us, like a lot of us that was, you know, became entrepreneurs under him. Like he kind of paved the way for us in our home county, and like he died, and that impacted our whole hometown, you know. So, I mean, it's stuff like that, like how COVID affected. I had a family member that I was close to that died from COVID. She's from New York, so that affected my family, and now her kids and her grandkids got to deal with that. This is year one for them. Right. So it's been difficult. And then let's not even go to suicidal rates. When you talk about the suicidal rates and the suicide attempts, we had a training where they talked about there was more suicidal ideations and you know, attempts in the emergency room now, more than COVID patients.
Oh.
Can you believe that?
Man.
We had a training recently about that. So they're trying to give us all the training we can to help people that, you know, say they're ready to go. They don't want to be here anymore. It's hard. Yeah. So you got people like me that's trained that has to talk these people out of not killing themselves. So imagine how hard it is on us as well, trying to save someone's life from not ending theirs. And it's heartbreaking because it's happening so much. And it doesn't matter. And you see that from all of these people that's dying by suicide. Money doesn't have anything to do with it.
No.
You can have all the money in the world, but when you're empty inside, it causes, you know, you to depression doesn't have a name on it. It can happen to anybody. So my heart goes out to all these families that's dealing with people that died by suicide. It's very hard.
Yeah. Man. What can you do? Because, you know, I think about, I used to stress a lot. And from time to time I do, but it's gotten a lot better than what it was. Because I used to stress about any little thing sometimes, and some stuff would be out of my control. And it's to the point, even with jobs, you know, you can get so stressed out with a job. And when it get to that point where you feel like you don't want to go there anymore and you start stressing out, I've been some instances where I would just be upset, and tears running down my face, and a lot of times I was like, you know what, I don't even know if I want to be here anymore, and I hate feeling like that.
Right.
Because it was just to the point that I got so overwhelmed with stress, and I've been in a situation like that to where I just felt like I didn't want to be here anymore, and I had to ask myself too: is this what you want to do? You know,
Right.
You got your kids, your family, they need you. You know,
They really do.
And you know, me doing that, taking myself out, that would be total devastation to my family, especially my children. And
Yes.
I try to, I pray a lot, and people don't believe in the power of prayer. Something's bad wrong with them,
Right?
Because the power of prayer works, and
it does work.
And that's what I do. I stay busy to try to relieve some stress, because I think about loved ones that were so close to me, that just like you was talking about a few minutes ago about people that transitioned on. Lost my mom about 3 years ago. That weighs on me heavy. Think about her, and I think about my brother. He was so close to my mom, and he's dealing with issues. And we was talking a couple days ago about mental health and stuff like that, because he go see somebody, I think he say twice a month, to be able to sit down and talk with him, and release some of the frustrations and stuff that he has built up. And
right.
So yeah, mental illness is a big deal. And I pray, like I said, I pray about, things, praying that God will make things better, because I have been to that point where I just like, you know what, this is going to be like this. Maybe I don't want to be here no more. If it's going to be like this, and just being able to deal with the stress. So, he talked me into, he said, man, bro, you might need to, you need to go talk with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And
a lot of people feel like they don't want to talk to counselors because they don't know them. They've learned the stuff in the book, so they don't.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will tell me that until I kind of break everything down to them, like, hey, this is how it helped me. I'm a counselor, and I had my own therapist. So, like I tell people all the time, like, I know it's hard to trust somebody that you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of people grew up, like, in our generation, in our culture, it was everything stays within the family. You take it to church and pray about it. We didn't go outside of that. Mm-hmm. So now it's like you can go to your pastor and a therapist too. So like that's what I try to explain to people, not pushing any type of religion or anything on nobody, because as counselors we don't supposed to do that. But I do share, if they ask me, then I have permission freely to tell them my experience about having a therapist and my pastor. So I always share this with people, like, trust your struggle. Like, sometimes you're going to go through things, but there's an expiration date for your struggle. You got to keep pushing through it and reminding yourself, like, hey, this is something temporary. I know it's something ahead of me I'm gonna overcome this. Mm-hmm. So I always tell people to trust their struggle, their current struggle. Because even as us as counselors and therapists, we go through things. We're not perfect either.
Right.
So I'm learning too to trust my own struggles, trust my own challenges, and turn those into my superpowers. So I'm always telling kids, and I counsel kids all the time, what is your superpower? What is your superpower? And I tell my adult clients that now too, like, hey, we are adults, but we got a superpower too. So the challenges we have to go through, it's always a positive into that. It's not why is it happening to me. It's what am I learning from this situation? What is going to help me, in the future? How is this going to help me?
Right. Man. Let me ask you this too. With dealing with mental illness, what can people get over it with using medications, or does it get better for them, or can they completely get through with using medications?
And I don't know if you saw my post one day when I talked about, I had the kid on there saying, I don't need medication. I need you to help me. Something like that. That was the caption of it. But I wasn't saying in my post that no medication is bad for people, because I always tell people, if the challenges that you are going through is very extreme, and you reached out and you got counseling, and you went to your medical doctor and got checked out, you have no medical problems, you still going through those same things, and counseling is not working for you, your support system is helping you and it's still not working, then you may need to see a psychiatrist to be evaluated for medication. Medication does work. Sometimes it's about, and I always tell people about the right medication and right dosage.
Right.
Because some people like, oh no, that the medicine didn't work, it made me sleepy, and all these things, the challenges they face. And I always tell them, well, it's just like having medication for your heart, or it's different medications that fits the person. So that may not work for you. You go back to you do a med management appointment and tell them, hey, this not working, this is the symptoms I have. They'll change it. Or you'll see a dosage change, and you got to adjust your medication at times, and then it'll help you overall once you got the right dosage and the right medication. So I always say, if it's extreme and your challenges is so overwhelming that you in your heart you need medication and you tried everything, and I always tell people, try it and see how it goes. You never know.
Man, yeah. What else? It was something I was fixing to ask you. I just forgot about it. It was in my head, because I be wanting to know these things, and then too, the listeners definitely want to know. Have you been in a situation with someone that's really, really struggling with mental illness? I'm talking about really struggling. How would I say that again? I was actually thinking about it. Man, I forgot the question I wanted to ask, because I had wanted to jot that one down and didn't. But man, the anxiety dealing with back to me. I was saying earlier, I've had dealt with some demons, and actually still thinking about, really thinking about trying to sit with somebody, and because the thing is with me, I would rather probably sit with somebody on a professional level that knows what they're doing, and just talking to somebody, an average person, because a lot of times I'm the type of person, I'm very secretive about what goes on in my life, and I feel like if you might talk to somebody, it might be the wrong person that you think
right.
that's there for you, and then they'll go back and telling everybody, he's dealing with this, he's dealing with that, and that's nobody's business, because I felt like if we're close enough, that should be between us. And
right.
That's why I haven't really just been more vocal about the situation. but yeah, I've dealt with some struggles and still dealing with them on occasion because, like I said, I lost my mom. I lost my brother, my youngest brother, back in 2014 to gun violence, and that bothers me a lot. Really bothers me. Just recently had had a birthday back on January 28th. Yeah, I think about that a lot, and it bothers me, and there's nothing I can do about it. You know, there's nothing I can do to bring them back, but it hurts, and just trying to deal with it on a daily basis. And I deal with things in my own way. You know, I know a lot of people they express themselves a lot more when they're dealing with stuff, but I deal with it in my own way. But the thing with that is, I'm gonna have to open up. I'm gonna have to really open up about it and quit holding it inside within. And that's the problem I got, holding it in. But it's just in a trust factor too, trusting somebody. So yeah, I would like, you know, to talk to somebody on a professional level that I feel comfortable with.
Yeah, and you will find someone. It's counsel. Therapists you'll meet at like the first visit, you'll connect with them, or like the first 2 or 3 visits, you connect with them. It's all about like giving it a try. And I think you'll meet the right person that'll help you along the way. And I mean, people don't realize how much grief is a big impact on mental health. A lot of people don't think of grief as mental health, and it is. Yeah. Because I lost my mom back in 2016. You know, she had breast cancer, so I went through a whole lot. I didn't even realize how bad I was deep into that grief, until I came out of it. I honestly do not remember most of 2016. And I'll say that for the record. I cannot recite a lot of memories from 2016. Yeah. Because it was so hard. Because me and my mom talked like every day, and my family would laugh because I'll say at least 10 times a day. And I was in Florida and she was in South Carolina. But we talked all day long. And I worked full time. Yeah. And I had kids and everything. And we talked like that frequently. And it was hard. So my coping skills I used which was bad. It was you go through this fight or flight stage when it comes to trauma. And I used that fight stage. I had put work in front of my grief, so I worked so much to kind of deal with it. Yeah. Not knowing that was bad. But I didn't knew it till I came up out of it. And then I went to counseling in 2020. Now, look at that gap in between. My mom died in 2016. I didn't get counseling in 2020. So in between that time, I was going through all that grief and I didn't realize it. So I started putting work in front of the grief to keep myself going. I didn't know I was putting myself in a deeper hole than getting out of it. So I always talk about going through good grief and greatness. Yeah. Life is good, and then you go through grief, and then when you come up out of it, you actually feel the greatness and, the rejuvenation from it. And, you are able to speak about it and share your testimony to other people and help other people along the way. And I say greatness because I can speak on it openly and help someone else. Yeah. So.
Man, I'm glad to have been able to conversate with you about this big topic, and it's about mental health. Mental illness, like I said, it's a very serious issue. People out there that's dealing with it. People out there holding things within. And then what? Let me ask you again too. What are some of the warning signs?
Warning signs of mental health.
Yeah, with mental health. if you can, just give me a couple of warning signs if you can.
And so different people have different symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
So, but some symptoms mimic, like depression
Mm-hmm.
and anxiety may have similar symptoms, but they're totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas depression, there's a person that struggles on their day-to-day activities. So they might stay in bed all day. You know, they might call out of work a lot or don't keep jobs often.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have people, but you got people that's functioning that has depression. It's not severe. They can get up and go to work every day, but they're very fatigued and, you know, they're exhausted. So, like, when it comes to symptoms and signs, it's different symptoms with different diagnoses.
Right.
You know, even down to like ADHD, ADD, you know, dealing with hyperactivity and all of that. Every diagnosis has different symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of got to get to a stage where you can go get evaluated if you feel like within yourself, you know, you're changing or you're like moving differently than you normally do.
Mm-hmm.
Then that may be a sign.
Yeah.
You know, think about what is a trigger for you or what happened that led up to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to probably get evaluated, go to a doctor because my body is moving different or I'm feeling different.
Right.
So I would say that to people.
Okay. All right, Ladeidra. Man, it's been great having you on. For anybody that want to get in touch with you, and how could they do that?
I can be reached. My telephone number is area code 352-843-2074. That is my cell. I also have an email address, rbscounseling@gmail.com. Also, another email address is connect@rbscounseling.edu. I'm also located on Facebook, it's Ladeidra Stokes, or RBS Counseling Educational Services. And I'm on Instagram, either RBS Counseling Educational Services or Ladeidra Stokes. I also have a Facebook group, RBS Counseling. It's a Connecting with Parents group. So you can catch me on any of those things. You can text me, call me, email me, or message me on social media. I'm available.
All right, man. It was good having you on. And I really appreciate you taking the time out to come and talk with us, because that's a very important topic. And hey, thanks for coming on.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. And I really look forward to coming back again soon.
All right. We can make that happen.
Okay.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right.
All right. All right, y'all. Man, that was a good one there. Ladeidra Stokes, mental health counselor, intern, life coach. Appreciate you coming on. All right, any guests that want to be a part of the Jock Johnson podcast, the solo show, you have any questions or comments, hit me up at The Real Jock J on Instagram. And of course, you can hit me up on my email at jockjpodcast@gmail.com. Love to hear from you. All right, y'all, that's about going to wrap it up for yours truly, the mastermind behind the mic, the podcast unk. Always remember, do what you love what you do. I'm out, y'all.